Good evening. First of all, I want to thank the Pleasant Plain, Prince Bay, Richmond Valley City Association for inviting me to this forum. I believe it's very important for all the candidates to be able to express themselves in every single forum, because all New Yorkers, they need to learn about the different ideas that we have to change the city. That way we could make the right decision when it comes to elect the next mayor. My name is Erick Salgado, and I am glad to be here in Staten Island because I didn't have to pay the toll to go to New York. I live here in Staten Island. I think I'm the only one who live over here in Western League, and I'm happy to be so close, especially in a rainy day like today. Yes, I'm running. I am running because I believe there is a big disconnection between the politician and the reality. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a pastor. I was born in New York, in the Bronx, but when I was 2, I was taken to Puerto Rico because I had a chronic asthma. My parents, they had no choice but to take me there. I was educated over there, but I came back to my city at the age of 17. Now I live over here in Staten Island, where I spent all my productive life in Brooklyn, helping the most vulnerable one. I raised the biggest evangelical Spanish church in Bensonhurst. In the Italian neighborhood over there. I get along with everybody over there. In fact, we have one of the biggest food pantry after Sandy to help the many communities that were affected by Sandy. I was actually devoted to help people when Hurricane Sandy struck. If you notice, Bath Beach and Bensonhurst is right basically in the middle of the disaster. We was helping the people in Racco, we was helping the people in Brighton Beach, Coney Island, and over here in Staten Island. And what touched me the most is when I heard that the politician and mayor, the current mayor, they were saying that everything was okay over here in New York City, that it was not as bad as the media was trying to make it look. And they was getting ready to close the Verrazano Bridge to make the marathon while we were still fishing bodies under the bridge. 24 people died over here. That was very senseless. Not only by the current administration, but by the career politicians that are part of the current administration. I know then that everything was not fine. I know then that everything was terrible. That very same day, I was in Coney Island and I found more than 40 people hunting for food in the garbage. That touched me and many people from my community, the Catholic Italian community in Bensonhurst, the Jewish people, the Russian people. They asked me, Reverend, why don't you run? Yes, I'm running. I'm running with grassroots money, and believe me, it's difficult, but I'm getting there. Yesterday, I shaped more than half a million heads in the Puerto Rican Day Parade, and they committed to vote for me. I am not going to be denied. So I'm basically the only social conservative in this race. Democrat or Republican, I am the only one who's willing to say that I'm conservative when it comes to social issues. Because I have 6 children, I believe in family, I fear God, I believe that everybody should be welcome in the city and live in peace. But when they ask me what I think about social issues, I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to give you a story here and another story there, even though I got 3 death threats already. But I'm a big guy and I'm very brave and I'm willing to stand. And you better say that. There's a couple of media guys over here. Yeah, I got 3 death threats already, but I'm going to continue saying what I'm saying because I believe that the people, the community of faith, have the right to believe on what they believe without being persecuted, without being pushed around. My plan for Staten Island is going to be a good one, especially now that the mayor is saying that the next mayor should not live in Gracie Mansion. I guess I have to commute every week to go to New York City to work. But my plan to Staten Island is going to be one, especially I want to make sure that nobody copy this because I'm trying to extend the R train to Staten Island through the Verrazano. That's something that should have been done a long time ago. They're trying to go to Secaucus, New Jersey. They connect the MTA to Secaucus, New Jersey, but we have to actually bring it over here to Staten Island. There's no reason why they shouldn't extend the R train to Staten Island. And also, if we're going to boost the toll, let's boost it to $20. But the people of Staten Island should pay $5, and the people from the rest of the city should pay $10. Let the people who are using Staten Island as a shortcut to go to Jersey and the South, let them pay the $20. Maybe they go elsewhere and we have less pollution, and maybe more children have the human right to be raised in the city that they was born. My name is Erick Salgado, and that's why I'm running for mayor. Thank you. Thank you, Luke. First of all, I believe that I don't believe that we have to put toll in the rest of the bridge, the Williamsburg Bridge or the Brooklyn Bridge, because once, for any reason, because once we allow them to put the toll, then they will never take it out. So no extra toll. What we need to do in Staten Island, first of all, it's a shame that the surplus from the River Center, which is $600 million, is actually paying for the New York City subway system. So they pay the train system out of the cost and expense of the Staten Island. It is a shame that we don't have a train that connects us to the city. So what we have to do is hike that toll to $20 for the rest of the people. The people from Staten Island, they should pay $5 also. $5, only $5. And the people who come in to deliver to Staten Island, that's another thing, they should pay $5 as well. Because a lot of people, they don't want to serve the people from Staten Island because they don't want to cross that bridge. Believe me, when my father was very ill in the Bronx, it cost me $59 to see my father from Staten Island to the Bronx. So we have to make sure that we extend the R train coming to Staten Island. We have to make sure that the Staten Island, that they pay only $5, the rest of the city $10, and the rest of the world $20, because we have enough pollution over here in the city. And I also have to answer that I believe in the separation between church and the state. That's precisely why I want the government and the mayor to limit himself to govern, not to try to redefine culture or religious belief. That's my thought. Thank you so much. And as a pastor, I can tax it too. I have to clarify that. Thank you. I agree with Luke, but I think that 10 years too long. We have to do it more rapidly. We have to push for it. We have to talk about it every single day, so we could have a public service hospital over here in Staten Island. There's many things that we need also over here in Staten Island. One of the things I want to share, we want to continue and we want to pursue for the out-of-border taxis. It is unacceptable that this is the only place in the world basically you raise your hand and you don't find any taxi to actually pick you up. That is also now I wanna make sure that I don't care what color they could be, green, blue, whatever, but we need out-of-border taxis. This is the only city of the world that you can actually find a taxi on the street, and concentrate in having a public service hospital and work with the community clinics to extend them in a way that they could serve the island as well. Thank you so much. I'm agree with it. I would like to have the Olympic over here in the city. I know it's going to be congestion, and I know it's going to be difficult to host an event like that, but it's going to bring a lot of revenue to the city, and that's what it counts. And the rest, we just have to face it and do what we have to do. Well, I will concentrate myself more in trying to win a championship with the Knicks, because that's we have home every year, and at the end we end up watching Texas against Miami. We want to focus with the local team as well. Thank you. Well, I'm all for the. I mentioned my father before, and he passed away 3 weeks ago. He was 91, so I understand how bad it could be when the senior citizens, they don't have the hope that they need. I'm committed to make sure that they get the benefit that they currently have, and they don't have to cross their finger to see if it's going to go up or down. Also, we have to encourage the developer to actually come and build correctly and right in the shorts. But they have to guarantee 30% of those luxury co-ops for affordable housing. And now affordable housing, we're talking about public housing, talking about people being able to purchase an apartment for an affordable price, and especially for the elderly and the senior citizen and the Sandy victim. Most of the Sandy victim right now, they are being displaced from the neighborhood. They are being cashed out from the government, the governor, to actually give them peanut for their property. property, and we have to make sure that we encourage the developer to actually build correctly, building resilient to another super strong, but they have to provide 30% of those apartments for affordable housing for the senior citizens and for the sanitation. See, when it comes to hurricane emergency response, I take it very seriously. As I mentioned before, I was raised in Puerto Rico, and over there we get about three or four every year, and we know how to respond to it. It is unacceptable that the biggest city of the world, when it comes to respond to an emergency, the one we had, it fell in every single aspect. They were even saying that everything was okay, while people still to today, they don't have a home to live. That's the problem that we have. I have been going to many forums, and the first thing that we could do to prevent this is communicating with people. The current mayor, he assumed that everybody listened to his station. That is not the reality. A lot of people depend on local cable, local radio station, and many other ways to communicate themselves. And that was the problem, for example, in Brighton Beach. Over there we have a huge Russian community that they only listen to the Russian station. New York City is not a melting pot, it's a collection of different communities. And we have to make sure that we get the message across the city. That's the first thing that we could do to prevent a lot of damage when it comes to an emergency. Number two, we have to have our fire department strong, and our police officer also in the amount of police officers that we need. Right now, I don't criticize the police department, but what I do think is that we are in shorthand. We have to increase our police force back to 37,000 police officers. Right now, we only have 34,000 after many of them retired, and that was the same amount of police officers that Mayor Dickey had then. It was unacceptable then, it is unacceptable now. We also, more than building seawall, which is very important to do, and in Puerto Rico everybody has it, we have to make sure that we build building resilient to another superstorm in the shore. We could also resolve the problem with affordable housing, and we also could protect the island. Once we finish doing that, we're going to make the shore of Staten Island look as beautiful as the shore of Puerto Rico. Thank you. I am the only one over here that I'm not a career politician. I'm a pastor. I have been serving as a community leader for over 24 years in Brooklyn, helping the most vulnerable one. Not because I was running for office, but because that's what I love to do, help others. I am the only one living over here in Staten Island. I'm going to make sure that we work with all the Staten Islanders the way they deserve, with the respect that they deserve. I'm also running because I believe that most of these career politicians, they take it for granted our votes. They do that in the old five order. We have to make sure that they get challenged and they behave good. And if they're not, then we have a choice to elect somebody from Main Street, like Erick Salgado, who's going to be working for all New Yorkers. Thank you so much.